Today's posts definitely have a theme. It is amazing that women have choices and opportunities now. And if you do choose to get married, before you get married, do not give up your 20s for these men. Set yourself up. Give yourself a foundation, because you do not want to end up in a whack marriage, a destructive, chaotic, abusive marriage. You do not want to set yourself up to where you have to game plan a whole lot, save up a lot of money to escape. Listen to some of these stories and definitely wait to the end, because I include a granny speaking her truth about what life could be, and honestly what life still is for some of these women that are stuck in these terrible marriages. Watch all the way to the end, because I put the granny's message on the end, and I'll put the link to this woman's TikTok page, because she always has this granny talking. And we need to listen to these elderly women, because they are part of the reason why we know what we know right now. And I'm going to continue to spread these messages, because we need to see, know, understand organically why our rights are so important, and not to just keep giving these up to these men. We have got to keep fighting so that our daughters don't have way less rights than we do. All right, y'all, watch the videos. I was tagged in this "Am I Overreacting" post on Reddit. The post got deleted before I had a chance to take the screenshots, but Ask Aubrey got it. She titled it, "And He's Going to Go on Dead Bedroom Forums and Blame Her." Let's look at this post. So here's the caption before I share the screenshots of the text messages. She says, "Am I overreacting? This started when my husband messaged me this morning. My husband messaged me with this video called the BJ test, which basically says if your wife doesn't give you head whenever you want it, the relationship is over." I reply with an emoji, a flat face emoji. And after sending another video, he responds and says, "Well, you didn't deny it." So the following exchange happened. After my response, he sends what I think is another inappropriate and immature video. We are both in our 40s, 3 kids, 2 have special needs, and I do it all. He makes all the money, but all the emotional and physical demands are put on me. And 16 years ago, when I gave birth to our daughter and was healing from major abdominal surgery, he made me give him head. It was excruciating. And I've just never been the same since. I've shared this with him, but it doesn't seem to click for him. Also, the last time I gave him head, he yelled at me for stopping to take a break because my neck hurt and told me I should look to Reddit for tips on how to give better head. Am I the one who's not being reasonable? Y'all, this part right here, he made me give him head. It was excruciating. Made me says coercion. Coercion to me is not active consent. And she's been dealing with this, and it's been on her mind for 16 years. And I'm just here to remind you all that divorce is a thing. You do not have to stay with a man who is like this. If somebody is making you do things, even if she wasn't healing from excruciating pain, in excruciating pain, if it wasn't active consent, there is a word for this, and it rhymes with grape. There's a word for this. If there's no consent and it's not active consent, if it's coercion, it is grape. All right, let's start with the text messages. So this is the video that he sent. And here are the text message exchange. The man says, "But you didn't deny it." And this woman says, "This guy is a former porn star. Why would you take anything he says about a relationship seriously? And if you want to know how I know, he literally states it in his profile." And the man said, "And yet you haven't denied the statement." And she's like rolling her eyes. "The relationship is over? Then why the hell are we still together if that's the case? What a douchery and stupid video clip." And then he does these sad face emojis. And then she says, "Do we have things we need to work on? Yes. Is it over? Do you think it is? I don't." He says, "Obviously not. We're still alive. Duh. Till death do us part." And she says, "Then why would you send this to me?" He says, "Because I miss BJs and not the angry ones." She says, "Well, I miss feeling like more than a piece of meat and performing. A lot has happened. A piece of meat and performing. A lot has happened in our marriage, and we've never taken the time to work through any of it." And he says, every time I bring it up, you never want to. Because it's gotten to the point that every time we started to talk, I didn't feel like I got anywhere and that everything was turned back onto me. I literally felt attacked instead of heard. He says, it's nothing to do with turn it back on you. It's literally me making my point, of which you refuse to hear, and you assume that anything I say is an attack instead of taking it at face value of maybe this is how I feel, because most of what you tell me, I view as an attack. So we're both in the same effing boat. The difference is I'll actually listen to what you have to say. When I come back with something, you shut down. I'm assuming you'll view that as an attack as well. She says, I view it as the same different day. We need couples therapy because I don't feel safe sharing my heart with you. You don't feel safe to me. If that's triggering to you and upsetting, I don't know what to tell you. Everything I say or do is used against me. And if you feel that way too, then we definitely need a mediator. And then he sends this. It says, when you make her slurp your kids for the first time. And that's when Simba was eating those bugs on the Lion King. So this is what he says in response to her saying, I don't feel safe around you. And this is the inappropriate video that she was talking about in the caption. They're not having the same conversation. She's saying, I don't feel safe enough to want to be vulnerable with you. And he's still talking about BJs. These two, he's about to be blindsided because she is really she wants to work on it. All he wants is a BJ. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Let's look at some of these comments. I'm sure you could see why this woman is upset, because I'm upset for her. I hadn't realized that this was what was going on because I had to kind of squint in to see that. Becca says, when she tells him he always flips it back on her, then he does exactly that while crying that he doesn't, flipping a table. This is a classic case of Darvo, though. She said that she has never gotten over what he did 16 years ago. She's trying to tell him, I can't be vulnerable. I don't want to do this with you because of certain things. And he won't listen long enough to, resolve any of the issues. She's saying we need couples counseling, and he's turning it back on her like, you don't listen to me either. This is definitely Darvo. And if you're new to my page, Darvo is when somebody brings something to you, like there's an issue, and then that person denies it, attacks, or reverse victim offender, meaning they turn it around. They're now the victim. You do this to me too. I feel attacked. Instead of, maybe we need to work on that. He's now the victim. I deserve a BJ. Ursula says, so her husband raped her. That's why the marriage is dead, because he's an effing rapist. Unearth the Wild Soul says, I want to know why men demand a head right after you give birth. I thought I was the only one who went through this. What the hell? And Young Artist says, I have a theory that it's because they want to test if you'll still pleasure them, because usually a woman can't or won't have vaginal sex after birth because of the literal wound in her uterus. I sort of feel like they ask for head after birth to see if any pleasure for them is still on the table. Disgusting. Honestly, a lot of these men don't deserve wives. They don't deserve to live with a woman. They deserve to be alone. And the way this man talked to her after she's saying, I don't feel safe, is basically solidifying the point that so many of these men need to be blindsided. They need to be living by themselves. They need to be estranged from any type of female compatibility because they simply do not see women as humans who deserve basic respect. All right, y'all, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. This is a thread from this content creator lady named Rich Politics. She says, to my fellow women aged 18 to 35, do not fall for these men's traps at any early age. Don't become another statistic, used, drained, and trapped in a one-sided marriage or single motherhood. Stay single, independent, and free. Ignore the distractions, avoid the traps, and build a life of your own on your own terms. No men, no kids, no regrets. If you do choose to get married and have kids, because I do understand that some women are going to get married and have kids. I am a married woman. I got married at 33. If you do want to get married, do not give them your 20s. Get your education, get some career experience, some foundation, get some certifications that can still translate if you do decide to have kids. Have some financial freedom to where if things go left, you can divorce and still survive and thrive. Where women go wrong, these one-sided marriages, or when they are completely dependent on their husband and they have to stay in these marriages and they end up looking like a shell of themselves after the fact, or even while they're still in a marriage because they can't get away. Stop doing this. It definitely is a trap. And men do trap women with babies. Babies are an anchor. Babies create that motherhood penalty that will jack up your finances for a couple of decades. And if you get out of the career path that you were on for a couple of decades, that pushes back your earnings, that jacks up your retirement. You have really got to think about family planning as financial planning. All right, MLA artist says, little girls are sold a boatload of lies about marriage and romance. This is a grooming technique to lead them into servitude. Get an education, maintain a job, and stay single. You'll be better off in the long run. The good thing about right now, my kids are young, so I'm watching Disney movies right now. Most of the Disney movies are not up like the romance and the Disney princesses and you'll be rescued. It's not that. At least the movies of right now have some empowering message, and it's not all about falling in love and everything is happily ever after. At least it's not that. And I've been watching cartoons now for the last decade. Lucy says, yes, I'm 40 and lost my life to a shitty man and single parenting. This is good advice, and I hope young women listen. Men will only make your life harder, and you will end up worse off in 98% of the cases. And then Rich Politics says, that's a fact. It's very interesting watching the discourse of women on social media platforms because so many women are saying, do not marry these people, do not have kids. And the shift is real because you can see men clamoring to get married. And even the article that I did earlier from the Wall Street Journal says more men want to get married than women. Women are like these women, like Rich Politics and Giovanni. She says, please stay child free. Don't bring any more innocent souls into this world that's not even set up for protection of families. Protect your womb, your mind, your soul. Women are saying this. Now, I am a mother. I see firsthand how women are not protected, how mothers are not supported, how children are not protected. I am like, no more babies right now until we work these things out. But the shift is here. Women are sounding the alarm, raising red flags, and men are just still like, that's why you're going to be single. That's why you're going to die alone. They're like literally not listening to anything that women are saying. Rich Politics says, listen to her, ladies. Don't you do it. Jess says, I lost my 20s behind a man. Thank goodness we don't have kids or life would have been worse. Do not give your 20s to one man. Have fun in your 20s. Try out different states, try out different places, travel, figure out, is this what you want to do for your career? You try a career, you don't like it, you can switch. You still have time because it's just you. Your 20s should be about examining what you really want in life. And people don't like, men don't really like it for people like me to say these types of things because they want young ladies trapped. If you don't have financial freedom, if you don't have an education, if you don't have career experience, you'll be trapped in servitude. But if you do set yourself up first, if you do want to have a kid or get married or whatnot, then you could still walk away and not be destitute and thrown into poverty, probably. Now we have a man jump onto the post and look how he tries to shift it a little bit or shift it a lot. He says this post ignores the very fact that many women in this age group intentionally pursue older men. She did not say anything about the age range of men. She said, do not give your life to men. He shifted it to older men. So he's changed the topic so that he can argue against the topic. Please know and understand how these men do these arguments. Let's continue with his argument. I know there's a lot of piece of shit men that do use and abuse younger women or simply women in general like toys, like property they own. Those men are weak. They absolutely disgust me, but not every older man treats women as such. Like I said, no other woman in this post was talking about older men specifically. They were like, don't give your life to a man. All right, let's continue with his point. For those of you that have been taken advantage of, had your life stolen or ruined by older men, I'm so sorry. You deserve better from someone who pretended to care. For the men, now he's changed it more. For the men who had their lives stolen and ruined by the younger women who pursued them with a vengeance, I feel your pain and how little a post like this will make you feel, unheard and uncared for. I'm so sorry for what you've been through too. Trauma sucks. Remember, she says, no men, no kids, no regrets. She's saying no to all men right here. She's not taking into account their age at all. And then this man is like, I'm sorry for what you men have gone through. Trauma sucks. But if women just leave all men alone, people like the Deuce man won't have to worry about any of these older men being taken advantage of. Oh my goodness. But y'all see what just happened here? I'm going to shift to this next thread from S.L. Fuller. She says, I recently got dumped by the man I thought I was going to marry. I'm starting a compilation of things I can do now that he's no longer in my life. She has 530 comments on this post. She says, drink my beloved Diet Coke without a hater in my ear telling me each can will take years off my life. She says, consider dating women for the first time because what have men done for me? So now other women are chiming in. Aubrey says, in the long distance relationship with the guy I thought I was going to marry, I was making lots of money, but somehow unable to save any of it. After I dumped him, all the money I spent arranging trips for us to see each other went straight into my savings to the tune of $10,000 in 3 months. Men can be taxing mentally, physically, emotionally, and obviously financially. Sela says, I'm loving all the lists and I hope they're encouraging to you. Here's mine. Listen to whatever I want without headphones. Not have my cooking insulted. Not being paranoid about other women. There were lots. Choose myself without being made to feel guilty. Get the kitten I wanted. She's almost 1. Spend my weekends how I want to. Decorate the house how I want to. No longer feeling crushing loneliness of not having help in emergencies. So women are really enumerating these things. And I would like to point out that I keep saying it's not people like me that are saying, don't get into relationships. It's women that have been in relationships that are speaking on them. Lizzie says, after ending my relationship with someone I thought I was going to marry, I realized I can talk about and watch baseball without someone telling me I don't care about sports every 5 seconds. And now I have a season ticket for my Atlanta Braves. Good for you. Doing the things that you want to do as far as your hobbies is amazing. And it sucks that people expect women to give up their hobbies simply because they're in a relationship. Do not lose the things that you like to do. Your friends, your family, don't lose all of that simply because you're in a relationship. And here's my homie, Miss Mezakine. She says, after I dumped my ex, I started to be able to travel more. Contrary to popular belief, even when you go 50-50, you end up paying more than 50% in bills. I always ended up covering incidentals. Meanwhile, any extra money he had went to whatever his hobby was or to play big spender with his friends. Kiki says, I can take naps without being accused of cheating, reject the strays that do come in my DMs without being accused of me enticing them by merely existing, having a discussion with a man without wondering when a hand or a foot is going to come flying at me. Whew. The things that women go through in these relationships, and folks wonder why women are opting to stay single. Anyways, join the conversation. Okay, I got cut off. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So I came across this Am I the A-hole post from a woman. She says, my husband wants to act like king of the castle when I pay all the bills. A lot of times I don't read all of the posts before I start reading it for the video. But I did because she's 24 and a stay-at-home mom, and he's 29, and she's saying she pays all the bills. Spoiler alert, she gets an allowance from her wealthy parents to pay the bills. But let's still look at the post. Okay, so man is acting like he is the king. He is cosplaying as a provider. All right, let's get into the post. It says, I, a 24-year-old stay-at-home mom, and my husband, who's 29, have been married for 3 years. So they got married when she was 21. And I keep saying, do not give your 20s to these men. Do not give up your 20s. 20s are for finding yourself. All right, she says, they've been married for 3 years. We have twins who are 16 months old and 2 children with his ex-wife, 8 and 10. So she was recruited to be a stepmother because that is a lot. An 8 and a 10-year-old, and she's only 24. She must have been a wife replacement for this man. My stepdaughters are mostly with their moms. For context, me and my husband live in a paid off home because I come from money. My family bought the home in cash and pays every single bill, including buying us 2 cars, insurance, electric, water, etc. We recently remodeled to expand and make more space for my stepchildren, separate bedrooms, and an extra bathroom. They paid for it all. My husband works a decent blue-collar job, but all of the money made from it is basically fun money. He pays for groceries. Recently, I've been pushing him to wake up with me and the twins in the mornings and do basic chores like taking out the trash. They usually wake up around 6 a.m. while he wakes up around 7:30. He takes an hour in the bathroom and then leaves almost immediately for work. I talk to him all the time, and he took out the trash twice before it became my responsibility again. I honestly don't mind taking out the trash or even doing all the chores and childcare. I like my job as a stay-at-home mom. I just want him to wake up with me and the twins in the morning to make mornings a little less overwhelming. He continually refuses, both through his actions and words. When I bring up his responsibility as a father to help with childcare, he always brings up one, he helps at night. He does, but it's only about 2 hours between him coming home and the twins going to bed. He works and he likes to sleep for as long as he can in the morning because he doesn't get to take naps during the day like me. What stay-at-home mom is taking naps during the day? She says, here's where I might be the a-hole. During the fight about this, I brought up the fact that yes, he works hard, but without me and my family's money, he wouldn't be able to do the things he likes and he's passionate about. I am the reason our bills are paid. His job is basically something to make him feel useful, and I do the heavy lifting of the household, childcare, and housekeeping. And if he lost his job tomorrow, we would be fine because of me and my family. He comes from a fairly impoverished background that he is not ashamed of. I feel like I may be holding my financial advantages over his head, but I also feel like asking him to wake up an hour early and take out the trash is not too much to ask. He's been giving me the cold shoulder ever since I brought it up that his paycheck does not pay a single bill in this house other than groceries. Am I the a-hole? I do not believe that she's the a-hole. This woman, because of her family setting her up, and a family should set her up, she will be fine if they decide to divorce. She will be fine. He may not be fine because then he will have to still take care of his 2 children from a previous marriage and pay child support for these 2 children. If he doesn't get with it and start participating in the household, this is going to be another man that is blindsided. He already has 1 divorce underneath his belt. He understands what it's like to lose a marriage, but it seems like he hasn't learned from the first time around, even though she doesn't give any specifics as to why his first marriage broke up. But he's not learning the lesson. He does not feel obligated to participate in his household. And when he was looking for a second wife, he chose someone younger, someone impressionable. Now, the advantages that this woman has is that she will be financially fine because her parents are taking care of her, and she knows that she's fine. So she's giving this man the opportunity to tap in to his household. And he's, like she said, he is refusing through his actions and words. He's saying, nope, I'm not going to do this. And he's going to end up losing out on this family. They've only been married for 3 years, but she's young enough to be able to say, you know what, I don't want to spend the rest of my life like this. Why am I doing this? And she might tap out because she sees she's doing it all anyway. So what's the point in keeping this man around? She did put in an edit that is covering some of the questions in the comment section. She says, note/answering common questions. I get a monthly allowance for household bills like the electric, water, car insurance, new clothes for kids, they grow fast, and household necessities. After that, there isn't money for a maid or nanny, and my family is vehemently against daycare and nannies. We met at the job he currently works at. Some days are hard, some days aren't. It's a small company, and pay is less than $20 an hour. She says, very artistic and niche, but technically blue collar. It's not like I've never worked a day in my life, though. I've been working since I was 16. Starting at 16, I would not get any financial support unless I had a job. I went to public schools and did not know the extent of my family's wealth until I had children. No mansions or luxury cars. We met at his current job, and I only quit when I got pregnant. Him and his ex-wife split due to her serial cheating. She had 3 kids while they were together, and only 2 are his. DNA test had to be done. Okay, so I was wrong in my assessment above. I did not read the whole thing, obviously. All right, so DNA test had to be done. He grew up poor with a single mom who became well off. Highly skilled job, $200,000 a year after he left home. My mother and father are in the millionaire range, while my grandparents are in the multi-million range. Sorry for the typos and bad formatting. Currently dealing with 2 toddlers. So there she is answering some of the questions in the comment section. Since she did that edit that answered a lot of the comments, I'm not going to do many comments, just this first one, this first set of screenshots. It says, hope the house is in your parents' name for when you divorce. So this person is saying for when you divorce because it's just assumed that this man is about to be blindsided. Unusual Potato says, I was just going to comment this. OP is practically a single mother doing everything. She wouldn't miss any of his physical or financial help as he provides nothing. He'd be effed without her, though, having to pay his own rent and bills and child support for 4 children. I said that above. He's going to come out harder on the back end if he doesn't tap into this family. And then Sunshine Lady says, OP needs to explain to him that since she supplies all the money though through her parents, he is working trad wife, and he needs to step up with housework, cooking, and giving her oral every day. Okay. I didn't see that last part. I told you sometimes I just take screenshots. I didn't realize that last bit was there until I just now read that. All right, y'all. I'm going to end this there. Y'all go ahead and join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Do you think that she's the a-hole? I do not. I believe that this man needs to tap in, and maybe she touched a trigger point that will make him step into his role as a daddy and a husband. He needs to be doing more. But you let me know what you think. Like, comment, and share.
For the babies?
No.
Why is it?
If you didn't want to sleep with him, you didn't have a choice. Your job was to cook, clean up, keep house, take care of kids. If you want to go somewhere you can't go, you got to stay and keep the kids.
And they sure wasn't still use no condoms, huh?
No, and if you want to go somewhere, you have to keep the kids. You can't go. I'm going so and so place. When am I going? You have to cook.
So what? This wasn't a law. This was just something that your moms or grandmamas, that they just passed this on, and that's how it was, and how men felt they should be.
You had to sleep with them. If they go out and lay out all night, you had to get up and cook and sleep with them. The biggest fight I had when my husband come home after 12 o'clock at night. I've been to church with the kids and cooked dinner, and he was in there rattling pots and pans. So the next Sunday when we got out of church, I went to my mama's and had dinner. So he said, in there rattling pots and pans after 12 o'clock on Sunday night, where's the food? I said, what food?
Yeah.
I ain't cooking no more. Ain't nobody here but me and the kids. We eat with our mama every Sunday. You gonna get up cook now? I said, oh, no, we're not.
Right.
And I didn't cook. And he never tried to make me cook no more either.
Okay.
But his mama was mad at me because she thought I was gonna kill him. My sister-in-law said, boy, she mad at me and you. I said, why? 'Cause we got the best of them.
Oh, so
Yeah.
he tried to fight you and y'all whooped him
Yeah,
over you not cooking,
that's right. I said, I ain't cooking. You ain't making me cook.
and you still didn't cook.
No. And after then, I would go to church with my mom and the kids, and I'd go to her house. And mother always liked to have a dinner for Christmas.
So that's like how that stick got started. Like men think that you're being
Yeah.
disrespectful
It's like
and you're not being in a woman's place.
Yeah, like when you marry them, you somebody got to have the house clean, the kids clean, and they food cooked as if they, like in Color Purple.
Yeah.
When the Celie left, his old daddy come over and had the goats and everything, chickens in the house. Said, you need to clean this place up. You need to get you a young woman that's able to clean and cook and clean this place up.
One they could force.
Yeah. And women did it because they had to. They beat on some of them. They didn't do it. But women got to beating them back.
And now that's why we are now. Like, you know, we ain't accepting that.
And we ain't
equal.
And we ain't going back.
That's right, baby.
Uh,
I'm proud of you.